Welkom terug. Nou registrasie vir graad 1 leerlinge vir die 2026 akademiese jaar in Gauteng begin môre. Ek gesels nou met die woordvoerder van die departement van basiese onderwys in Gauteng, Steve Mabona, om uit te vind wat ouers alles behoort te weet. Goeiemôre and good morning to you, Mr. Mabona.
Goeiemôre and to all our viewers and our listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I would like to start by asking you, where should parents register their children, at the school itself or online?
Well, the system it's operative online, but those parents that will not be in a position to do it for themselves, they can go to our district offices and different schools where they will be assisted, because not all parents are savvy when coming to, tech. So they will be assisted at different schools. We are starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Parents must not try to access the system before, because that might be a challenge for them, because they might find themselves in the last year's portal and only to find that they are not registering. So they need to wait for 8 o'clock and the system will be on. We are closing on the 29th of August. So they need to make sure that they apply within this application period.
And which documents are needed for this process?
We need the parent's identity document, the child certificate. We also need a proof of address, which is quite a contentious document. And also those that are going to grade 1, we need a immunization card, which is normally called as a clinic card. And those that are going to grade 8 will need a report card, which will then be assisting us to process. So all those 4 documents are quite key.
I would also like to ask you, how does placement at schools work exactly? Are children automatically placed at the nearest school?
The criteria, it's focused on the home address within the feeder zone. That's our priority. That's where we start. If you are closer to a school, it will be your advantage. And if there's a sibling in a school that we are applying to, it also an advantage. And also on the same breath, the previous school, we are making an example here. If a child is in a previous school that is closer to a high school, then that will also be an advantage. Then those that are working in and around the school, and the 4th category will be those that are within 30-kilometer radius, and the last one will be those that are beyond 30-kilometer radius. So in essence, it means that you can access any school in Gauteng as long as there is still space and you fall within one of the categories, you will be placed in a school.
And what can parents do if their child is not placed at their required school? Or preferred school, rather?
Look, parents will always prefer, will have preferences, and we will not be in a position to always meet their preferences, because we are saying parents must apply to 5 schools. Out of the 5 schools, we should be in a position to place at least 1. But some parents, sometimes they will have preferences. One will give us 5 schools. Out of the 5 schools, probably the parent would have started with his or her own preference, maybe clicking the first, the first, and the second in that category, which we don't use. But the parent will think that because I applied first, on this school, then I think that I will be admitted there. So the criteria plays a significant role in placing. So, well, there's an appeal process. Then if we are not happy, we start appealing in the system, and if failing which, then later you can still, proceed again to the office of the MEC, who will then look at your case, and if you were treated unfairly, then probably the minister can change the decision. But if he agrees with the department, we'll agree, and we will take it from there.
What other advice do you have for parents going through this process for the first time?
It's for them not to rush the process. Make sure that they follow through all the steps that they're going to find in the system. The first step being that of creating credentials. You need to create your credentials, and also you can write them down so that you don't forget your password. Because if you forget your password, it's going to be difficult for you to see your space during the placement period. Secondly, they need to give us details of a learner or learners that they're applying for. And thirdly, then the address. They need to put in the address, but also make sure that the address that you put in the system is the one that when we need a proof of address, you will be giving us the same one. And fourthly, then they can apply. Because the address would be in the system, when they click, the school will pop up, and they will be in a position to choose the schools that they want to apply to. Like as we said, maximum 5 schools, minimum 3. And then the last one, they need to upload documents. All the 4 documents that I already spoke about, they need to be certified, and they must be uploaded one by one at a time. Because some parents, sometimes they combine these documents. Don't combine them. Just make sure that each and every document will then be accounted for. That you will be done with your application, because the SMS will then be prompting you that you are done with the process. But if you cannot upload and you're not in a position to do so, you can then submit the documents to all the schools that you would have applied to. And when you submit the documents, you must insist on a slip. There will be a slip that you will acknowledge all the documents, because sometimes parents go and submit documents, and maybe our officials at the school, they do wrong things. They cannot account for the documents of a parent. So a parent then comes and say, here's my slip, I submitted. Then we know that our problem probably is at the school, and we can deal with that internally.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Mabona. En ek hoop dat jy daarmee presies weet wat om te doen. Nou onthou ons is volg op sosiale media, bly ingeskakel, ons is nou weer terug.